Hi guys, welcome back to Buffish, Jack here. Now today I'm going to be talking about a topic which at times can seem controversial, but given what's happened recently in the world of strength sport, I think it's important to talk about, and that is the use of steroids. Now before I start, I would like to say I am not advocating the use of steroids. Personally, I don't believe they should be a part of it, or at least if they are being part of it, they should take the route of powerlifting, which is you should separate it from tested and non-tested, but that's a discussion for a different day. So, today, I want to be looking at the issue regarding Hafthor Bjornsson and his admittance to using steroids, and the reaction from Mark Henry, the famous world's strongest man. He was in WWE at the Olympics. His opinion on the matter, and then I'm going to be discussing myself what I think of it all. So, with a recent ESPN interview, Hafthor admitted that in this run of the World's Strongest Man, leading to his win, he did use anabolic steroids. Now, personally, that didn't come as a shock to me, because I thought to myself, World's Strongest Man, this is a competition where these competitors are completing feats of strength which ultimately the average person cannot do. So I thought to myself, it's not going to be a bit of a shock if they are using steroids. That was until I found an interview with Mark Henry, a former World's Strongest Man himself, who basically came out and said that he's incredibly disappointed that Hafthor used steroids. He went on to say he would, if I remember correctly, would not shake the hand of competitors who use steroids in these competitions, and ultimately said that it disgraces the sport. I don't believe it does. So in sports like strongman, we've seen feats of strength such as Eddie Hall pulling 500 kilograms on deadlift. We've seen trucks, planes pull down runways, and to me, this was never something which the average person could do. And obviously I know there was a lot of food consumption and there's a lot of really hard training that takes place to really get to that level. But I never doubted for a moment that, in my opinion, there was the use of anabolic steroids. Now, obviously, I've not done much research into it, so I might be completely wrong saying this. But I would not feel cheated if I found out they were taking it, because of the fact that it's a spectacle sport. I'm watching this to be impressed. I am watching this because of the fact that the average powerlifting competition or weightlifting competition wouldn't have this same level of amazement and the same level of spectacle, you could say. Now, having said that, there are, of course, if you look down the powerlifting and weightlifting routes, you have a tested organisation and non-tested. Tested being obviously things like the IPF, non-tested going down WRPF, in which tested is you will be tested each year. Are you taking for performance-enhancing drugs? Non-tested, there's nothing of the sort. Perhaps this should be the case for World's Strongest Man, but then I do think that maybe if we did have two different divisions, we would start to see a dip in one compared to the other. I think that you would not see somebody pull 500 kilograms in a tested organisation like that. Just in my opinion. I'm not saying that Eddie has blasted steroids. I'm not saying that but maybe he hasn't. Maybe that is all natural, and if it is, fair enough. But I also would not be upset to hear he has taken steroids. I just think that if you had a tested World's Strongest Man, you are looking more towards a glorified powerlifting competition, which ultimately, they have feats of strength themselves. There's many competitors in the IPF which is tested, which have lifted weights which, they exceed expectation of the average person. Just look at Ray Williams with a 1,000-pound squat. I believe he's on 1,100. Luke Richardson, who is a junior, and he's recently totaled 1,000 kilograms tested. That's insane, But if you look at WRPF, which is untested, you then have Yuri Belkov, who ultimately is smaller than the two men I just mentioned, those two being 120 kilogram plus. Yuri is around 84 kilograms, pulling 400 kilograms. And that is an untested organisation, and I think that it's feat of strength like that which ultimately, when translated into strongman, is what make it a spectacle. So, those have been the facts of what's been going on so far regarding Mark Henry and Hathior and the different kinds of divisions. Next time, I'm going to be discussing my opinions in full on steroids in sport, looking through some experiences I've had, and ultimately just opening up to a discussion as to what you guys feel. Keep an eye out for part 2 on Buffish soon. This has been Jack Meredith. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again.